You know me. When I make a promise,
You keep it.
The search for the king of first-person shooters begins with a Titan, a game that wasn't just a sequel, but a cultural event that defined a generation of consoles. Today, we are making a case for the most complete package ever delivered in a shooter. We're making a case for Halo 3. I can't remember a game with this much hype or this much anticipation for its release. And of course, with that hype came a huge risk of failure. The biggest question was simple. Could it truly live up to the promise of letting you finish the fight? A fight that took place on multiple fronts, from Earth to the edge of the galaxy, against the two most devastating enemies humanity had ever faced. For a story that massive to come to a satisfying end is an extreme rarity in gaming. The game gave you a full sandbox of tools to do it with. Tanks, warthogs, hornets, and even the mongoose four-wheeler, and it set you loose in massive levels that still had incredible focused design, something that is often lost in modern games. This led to some of the most iconic missions in Halo's history, going up against two scarabs at once, the desperate escape from the flood, and of course, the legendary Warthog run, the perfect callback to the very first game. But you didn't have to do it alone. The campaign also pushed online gaming forward by introducing 4-player online co-op for the entire story. This was a huge feature that helped expand the online universe beyond just competitive death matches. Playing Halo 3 co-op even today is one of the most fun experiences you can have in gaming. You never know what's going to happen. An accidental grenade throw that happens to send your friend flying off a cliff, or your partner randomly running in front of you just as you take a shot with your sniper rifle. It was always a unique experience every single time you played. And whether you played on normal, heroic, or the brutal legendary difficulty, you could use skulls to take it to the next level, making the game even harder or just funnier and more explosive. As I said earlier, the promise of finishing the fight was a monumental task that against all odds succeeded. You don't just rescue Cortana after leaving her behind in Halo 2. You join forces with the Arbiter and the Elites to put a stop to the Covenant, the Flood, and the Grave Mind itself. It was one of the most epic and satisfying conclusions to a trilogy in video game history, and a worthy end to the journey we all took with Master Chief and Cortana. But this is Halo, and the campaign is only one part of that total package. The other part is the multiplayer. And in 2007, Halo 3's multiplayer wasn't just a mode, it was a global phenomenon. The game was almost perfectly balanced. Unlike a lot of modern shooters, there were no custom loadouts. Everybody started the match on an even playing field with the same weapons. The differentiating factor was your skill, with the golden triangle, that perfect balance of shooting, throwing grenades, and melee, and the skill of your movement to control the battlefield. That control allowed your team to get the most powerful weapons first: the sniper rifle, the rocket launcher, the energy sword. They were all placed at specific locations on the map, forcing conflict in those zones. The game didn't just give them to you. You had to take control and earn them. This made them feel incredibly valuable, and it allowed the best players to rise to the top, not just someone who unlocked a perk that gave them an advantage. The multiplayer was full of different modes. You had Team Slayer, Big Team Battle, SWAT, Lone Wolves, and Infection. Personally, I'm a Team Slayer fan, but SWAT is a very close second. That hardcore mode, no shields, no motion tracker, and instant kill headshots was all about pure aiming skill and reflexes. But no matter how good the gameplay is, a shooter is only as good as its maps. And Halo 3's are legendary. You had Valhalla, the classic iconic big team battle map. You had the Pit, a perfectly symmetrical warehouse that was the gold standard for objective games like Capture the Flag. The list of incredible maps goes on and on. Halo's multiplayer was a perfect storm of balanced gameplay and diverse modes for every type of player. But that still wasn't enough for Bungie. They decided to add one final piece to the puzzle. They gave the players the tools to create. Forge mode was a revolution for console gaming. It gave players a simple but extremely powerful built-in map editor, and it led to some of the most hilarious and creative custom games imaginable, like Griffball, Duck Hunt, and Jenga. Then you had Theater mode, which immortalized every match you played. The ability to go back and re-watch your most incredible moments from any angle is something we take for granted now, but it was groundbreaking then. And the game even offered file sharing, where you could download custom maps, game modes, and films directly from the community. It created a self-sustaining ecosystem inside the game itself, something you rarely see anymore. So, does Halo 3 deserve the crown? While other games may have focused on one or two things, Halo 3 delivered an S-tier experience on all fronts. An epic campaign, a perfectly balanced multiplayer, and creation tools that empowered its community. It definitely has a strong case for the crown, but there are 4 more games in this quest, and there can only be one. Come back for the next episode where we'll examine our next contender, and by the end of it all, voting will take place on the community tab. Thanks for watching. Would you kindly leave a like and subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.